feel so alive.
Hello and welcome to the Women's Football Show. The WSL is back after a 7-week break and we've plenty of football to help you through the post-World Cup blues. It's tense at the top. Can leaders Birmingham take the strain? Faye White runs the rule over England hotshot Jess Clark. We meet the Wales defender who hopes to be a hit at the Commonwealth Games. And we'll round up all the action from the WSL. And I'm very pleased to say that I'm joined by the PFA Player of the Year, Lucy Bronze, as well as Julian Dix, West Ham legend, of course, but now in charge of the West Ham United ladies team. More from them a little bit later. Now, few tipped Birmingham City for a shot at the title, but having already defied the odds to reach the last four of the Champions League, the Blues have got another prize in their sights, as Jess Crichton reports.
The surprise package of 2014. Birmingham have so far silenced the critics that tipped them for a season of struggle. The Blues sit top of the WSL at the halfway stage of the season, and nobody better encapsulates their determination and spirit than hands-on midfielder Jade Moore.
No pain, no gain, all that.
Jade, it's match day and you're here hours before anyone else. What are you doing here?
I'm working. Luckily for me, I get to work at this wonderful stadium. Just opened a new business, and this is where I am today. It's a sports and injury clinic run by myself and Tim College, the physio at Blues.
You're grimacing a fair around there. Be honest, when she usually does this, does it hurt? Does it work?
It does work, but it really hurts. Like, whenever I come for a massage, I prepare myself. I walk out and I'm like, oh, Jesus, what have you done to me? But then the next day, it does feel loads better.
Birmingham are having an amazing season so far. You're top of the league. What's been the secret to your success?
I think a lot of things that have been branded about us is togetherness. I think we've had a really good team spirit this season. I keep saying we're just like a family. As much as we possibly can, we do things together. Obviously the likes of Bass, ex-captain, and Rach Williams, there was big characters in the squad. Off the pitch, I think we've missed their characters, but I think Dave's managed to bring other players, and we're doing well as a squad, so I can't really say that we have missed them at all.
We've got a great team spirit, great camaraderie, and I think we've always been renowned for that, but we knew the quality we had, we knew the quality of our youngsters and the ones coming through, and it was just a matter of can they be consistent. So far we've done that.
Well, we've got, I think, 5 in the Under-20 World Cup, 3 in the Under-19 European Championships, so ever since I was a kid as well, we've always prided ourselves on our youth and our youth development. You know, you look at the whole WSL, how many players have been a part of Birmingham City, there's loads of them.
You've just been shortlisted for the England squad again after quite a few years,
yeah,
which must be nice.
It's about 7 years, I think, isn't it? So,
incredible.
Yeah, it's nice just to get a little bit of recognition, you know, and it's just something that I always say I want to play well for Birmingham, and I enjoy playing for Birmingham, and I think that shows on the pitch.
A busy week for Birmingham began with a heavy 5-0 defeat to Bristol in the Cup. Back at Solihull Moors, a repeat fixture in the league saw Karen Carney's touch of magic put Birmingham ahead. Emily Westwood then made it 2-0. Bristol managed to claw one back through a Hannah George own goal, but the Birmingham bond came good again. The first of 2 back-to-back league victories that keeps them top at the halfway stage.
It was a hard fight, I think, today. 90 minutes was, I think it was probably about 95 minutes, was one of the longest 90 minutes I think I've played in my life, to be honest with you.
I'm not surprised at Jade Moore's cream cracker. She'd already done a day's work before she even got to the game, hadn't she? But maybe that's a reflection of how things are. Birmingham City are part-time. They have to work as well, a lot of the players, and yet they're right at the top of the table. How impressive is that?
Yeah, it's really impressive from a team, you know, that's not full-time, but, you know, Jade nailed it on the head there. They're very together as a team, and I think that's probably what's pulling them through at the minute, is that, you know, they have it against them with the money and that the other teams have, maybe, and I think they feel like they have to prove a point a bit to stick together and pull on through.
We're halfway through the league season, so they've still got the tough games that come towards the end of the season. You won the league last season, of course, with Liverpool. How difficult can that be mentally? Good group of players, but it's the mental challenge, isn't it?
I think once you gain your momentum, I think you're fine, which is what they've got at the minute. But, you know, if you start to, you know, let a few sloppy goals in or you draw a few games, I think that's when you can kind of worry yourself, especially in the position that they are in. You know, they're in the game's in their hands. you know, they're at the top. If they drop points, it's their own fault that they've lost it.
They have a fantastic midfield, don't they? Remy Allen, Joe Potter, Karen Carney in there as well, and Jade Moore, of course, fantastic player. England. Is that really what's driving them at the top there?
Yeah, I definitely think their midfield, you know, it's got to be one of the best in the league. They've got kind of everything, you know. Joe Potter's technical ability is second to none, I think. Her left foot's outstanding. And then you've got Jade Moore, who's got a bit of everything, and Remy Allen there just topping it all off. Hard work, you know, enthusiasm, all three of them together. I think, you know, you can't really knock what they've got. And obviously Kaz Carney going in attack for them. She's got a bit of flair, a bit of talent, you know. She's not a bad player.
She's not bad, is she?
Not bad.
Well, Julian used to play for Birmingham City, of course, the men's team, but do you still want to see them do well?
Of course I do, yeah. All the clubs I've played for I want to see do well.
Manager of West Ham Ladies, of course, now. How did that come about?
To be honest, it was the captain, Stacey Little, put it on Twitter. If you think Julian Dix should manage the ladies, then retweet. And I retweeted it. And it went from there. I had a chat with the chairman, Ray Wood, and he offered me the job, and that was about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, and what are your early impressions?
To be honest, I mean, they're a good bunch of girls. They work hard. Obviously, pre-season just started, so that they do work hard. But I just got to make them a bit more aggressive.
Well, if they wanted to do that, they've got the right manager, haven't they? But you've got the West Ham name. Do you have anything else from the men's club?
No, not really. For the last 2 years, they haven't really backed them. But we've had a meeting last week, and hopefully they'll take us on board. Again, we're not asking for the world. We just want like kits and training kits and stuff like that. So hopefully they'll come through.
And your players have to pay for their own kits. They have to pay to play still.
Yeah, they have to pay to play. Again, they pay not subs, but they pay a fee up front for their kits. And again, if you go to away games, they have to pay for the coach. So hopefully, say West Ham will come on board and help us out.
So if Karen Brady's watching, then you quite like a cheque and a little bit more support.
Of course we will. Yeah, we can all just do with more support.
Okay. Let's hope she is watching. Birmingham then, Karen Brady's old club, of course, holding on to top spot for now, but they could soon face even more competition. The FA recently announced plans to strengthen the WSL to 20 teams by 2017, with clubs from the Women's Premier League to be considered for promotion.
We've created the Women's Super League Second Division, and we feel it's now time that we can move forward and expand and go to ultimately 20 teams across both divisions. The Women's Premier League got Northern and Southern Division. There'll be a play-off for the overall winner. That winner will be offered a place in the Women's Super League Second Division, subject to it meeting the licence criteria. We won't be relegating out, because if you came out, you'd literally have so many months of not playing football, you'd expect the club would probably fold. So it gives us a chance to sit down with those clubs in the Women's Premier League and across the game over the next couple of years and work out, can we find a consistent playing season so we genuinely unite the pyramids longer term in terms of promotion and relegation. We've merged together the 4 combination leagues and the old Women's Premier League into one strong, sustainable league. Those ambitious, strong clubs now going out at the start of the season know that if they win that league, then they've got the chance to go into the WSL, which has got to be good for the Women's Super League, because, you know, good clubs coming through is really important for the top of the game, really healthy for the top of the game.
So, Lucy, this seems to be a step towards uniting the winter and the summer leagues. As a player, how important is it for you to be able to look up and know there's a pathway for you to reach the top divisions?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think it's really important for the young girls, especially who are coming through. You know, it's a big jump to ask them to go from Centre of Excellence football to full ladies football in the WSL 1, where you're playing with full England internationals. But I think the more teams you kind of get together and like have a little link and a little bond, it makes it easier for people to kind of reach their goal and their potential through football and kind of climb the leagues like they do in the men's.
Now, Julian, if you were to get a little bit extra funding from the men, which would be nice from your point of view, in theory you could in a couple of years' time get promoted from the Premier Division, Southern Premier that you're in at the moment, maybe into WSL 2. Is that good for you to be able to see that pathway, that's potential?
I think it's good for the players to have a perspective that they can get promoted as well as relegated as well. So it works both ways. But as a player, yeah, if you're going to win the league, you want to have a chance to go up.
And who are the clubs in your division that you look to be doing well this season? I know you're very new to it. You've only been there a couple of weeks.
Obviously, I think last year was Coventry. They've done very, very well. But again, as I said, I'm just into it. I don't really know a lot of the teams in the league, and obviously I don't know a lot of the girls in the league. So every day is a new learning curve for me.
How are you learning? Who are you talking to?
Myself. No, I just talk to the girls. I talk to Ray. I've had loads of help from different people. So, as I said, every day is a learning curve for me. But I'm sure the girls will put me straight.
So you have conversations with them about the opposition in their league and about women's football as a whole?
Yeah, because obviously they played in that league last year, and they know some of the girls. They know the good players. They know the not so good players. They know the teams that are structurally very good and sound defensively. So, yeah, I mean, I do talk to them.
Yeah, you've been coaching girls out in America as well. How did you find the standard?
For me, the standard was very good. I mean, technically in America, for me, the girls are better than the boys. One, because they listen. Like I say, when you talk to the girls, you can see them listening. But the boys, their attention span is seconds, and when you speak to them, they speak over you and stuff like that. But again, it was technically the girls were better than the boys. Which
is interesting, because in this country, traditionally, football is a men's sport, and maybe there's a sort of mental prejudice, if you like, against women playing football. But the United States, they don't have that history of men playing the game, and you're saying that technically the girls were actually superior.
For me, they were, yeah. Like I said, I coached all different age groups out there, and for every age group, I mean, there's some boys that were technically very, very good. But again, for the girls' ages, they were just as good. So I enjoyed myself out there.
OK, well, good luck to you with West Ham Ladies. Now, did you know that attendances in the first part of this season's WSL 1 are up 40% on the same stage last season? Or maybe that's something to do with an increase in quality on the pitch. Quite possibly. Judge for yourselves. Here are all the goals from the past week. Hey, we promised you some decent goals. They weren't bad, were they, Julian? I think it was Natasha Flint's goals that caught your eye. Yeah, the second goal especially. She had a little bit of luck going through the middle, but obviously she's looked where the keeper is and he chipped it from about 30 yards, so it was a very impressive goal. 2 victories in a week then for your side, Liverpool, Lucy. You've had some dreadful injury problems this season, but getting those players back, has that been the catalyst to those wins? Yeah, definitely. I think, our midfielder, Katrin, actually scored one of our goals. Katrin, yes, surname? You sounds like you're trying not to say it. No, we don't tend to say her surname. We just call her Katrin. Yeah, she's been a big player for us last year, and she kind of went unnoticed a bit last year, but having her injured, that was a big blow. And then even just some of the girls on the bench that we've had injured, we've had to play with our bare 11 some games, and it's been a struggle. But to get everyone back now, it's just showed we've come back in a bit of form. Yeah. Hopefully we can carry it on. Are you counting yourselves out of the title race? 5 points off, 7 games to go? No chance. No chance at all, no. All we've got to do is win our games, and hopefully Birmingham drop a few points on the way for us to give us a helping hand. But I don't think we can say we're out of it. A couple of teams are maybe saying the same kind of things. They're not out of it yet. Chelsea certainly aren't out of it. Birmingham just got pressure on now, haven't they? Yeah, well, Chelsea looking good, aren't they? They've signed some very good players, a lot of foreign players in there, but real quality. Do you see them as real contenders to win it? I thought Chelsea were going to be one of the contenders before the start of the season, with the signings that they've made. And Emma Hayes is a really good manager in bringing good players together. I think for Chelsea, if they can just stay consistent with their performances, there's no reason why they can't go on and beat any team on the day. But I think for them, consistency is a big key for them, because they've got the talent and they've got the players. Not looking good though for your old club, Everton, still looking for their first win in the league. Do you see them as the side to go down? I think, it's hard to say any team, but at the moment you'd probably say Everton are favourites to go down. But I think, the quality of the teams that everyone's got to play now, it's really hard to call. So they've got to grind out results, and maybe the mid-table teams might just kind of let the foot get off the pedal a bit, and Everton could easily take over anyone, really, if they wanted to. Well, Arsenal we haven't mentioned yet, but they won yesterday, doing well under John Beyer. But just to give you some news there, update on the new manager situation. John Beyer not in the frame. He hasn't put himself forwards, but they will be doing first interviews this week. And they say they're not in a huge hurry to appoint someone because John Beyer is doing quite well. well, it's fair to say, off the bottom there. Now, some news that's broken today is that Notts County have been fined by the FA for failing to fulfil a fixture. Their Meadow Lane ground wasn't available for last month's league match against Bristol Academy, and they failed to find a suitable alternative venue. So Bristol have been awarded the 3 points pending an appeal. A tough season then for Notts County. They lost England striker Ellen White for the whole campaign with a knee injury. But winger Jess Clark has been a more than able deputy up front. We sent former England captain Faye White along to assess Clark in a new role.
After a couple of years interrupted by injury and inconsistency, Jess Clark looks to be back to her best. The Notts County forward has scored 12 goals so far this season, and it's earned her a recall into the England squad. So let's see how she gets on against Birmingham today. Birmingham like to sit deep and show a good defensive shape, so it might limit the space that Jess Clark gets to play in today. So we'll have to see what she can come up with to counter that. Notts County just had a good attempt, all over the top, Jess to chase, showed her speed, great saving tackle by the defender. So she's really shown her pace and a great quality cross at the first time with her left foot. So Birmingham take the lead, 1-0. Jo Potter scores directly from a corner, so Jess really needs to up her game now. Cuts inside shows good skill, but referee wasn't convinced by her fall. Oh, good skill. So that's typical Jess, working hard, running down that channel, gets onto a loose ball, does a good bit of skill, good ball into the box, but there's no real support there. So it's a difficult day for Jess. Didn't really get the service that she needs to break down what is an organised Birmingham defence. But on a positive note, she looks really comfortable as a striker and is a real asset for Notts County and England.
And this is how the WSL 1 table looks at the midway point of the season. It's Birmingham City out on top, 3 points clear. And Chelsea just in behind them with Lucy's Liverpool in third place. Everton still at the bottom. This is the table pending any appeal by Notts County. They have said that they will appeal. Now, there were no WSL 2 matches played at the weekend, but what a fixture they've got coming up on Saturday. The top two there, Sunderland and Doncaster, play at Doncaster's Keepmoat Stadium. That's a 6:30 kick-off on Saturday. So do get down there if you can. It should be quite a belter. Now, more bad news for Notts County is that they've lost their England defender, Sophie Bradley. They've confirmed to us today that she has injured her ACL knee ligaments. So she's going to be out, certainly for the rest of the season. With the World Cup coming up next year, that's a worry for Sophie. We wish her all the very best. But they really haven't had a lot of luck, have they, Lucy? That's their third ACL with Anna Green and also Ellen White missing.
It's a real shame for Sophie. You know, she's a really good player and she's a lovely girl. You know, she's someone that you just think is absolutely good for her. But hopefully she can get herself back together and come back flying for England next year and get picked for the World Cup, hopefully.
Yes, Jess Clark, of course, hoping to be picked. She wasn't in Mark Sampson's plans. He apparently told her she didn't score enough goals. And then, due to the misfortune of Ellen White, she's been moved up front and scored 12 in her first 13.
I think that's always been part of Jess's game that, you know, she's needed to improve on, and she's done that exact thing. I think, you know, people say that she's kind of heavily relied on it, Notts County, but I think that's the way their team play. They allow her that freedom where she gets to kind of roam around a bit, she gets to get on the ball and she kind of does what she wants, and in doing that she's scoring a handful of goals.
We shall be hoping to make the cut for the England game, the friendly against Sweden up in your native North East. That's quite a hotbed of footballing talent, isn't it, in the women's game, the North East?
Yeah, there's been a few of us who've come through the ranks there at Sunderland, you know, me, myself, Steph Horton, Jill Scott, Jordan Nobbs, Demi Stokes, Carly Telford, you know, and that's just the ones that are up there playing now. You know, there's plenty of youth coming through still at the minute. I think it's just the girls up there just have a bit of grit in them. You know, from up north, you've always got a bit of fight about you, and you know, the girls really work hard up there to get themselves where they are.
Yeah, good for Jordan Nobbs as well to be playing at her home ground, if you like. Her dad played for Hartlepool, bit of a Hartlepool legend. Confirmation that England's friendly with Sweden will be played at Hartlepool United's Victoria Park on Sunday, August the 3rd, kick-off at 2 o'clock. Live also on BBC 5 Live Sports Extra. That's preparation for the World Cup qualifier away to Wales on Thursday, the 21st of August, which will be live on BBC TV. Or golf, perhaps, Julian. That was your second career, wasn't it, after you finished your playing career? Was it a difficult decision for you to take up football in the first place?
No, not at all. Football was always for me. I only took up golf because when I'd done my knee, I had to have something to do. And my surgeon told me to play golf. And that was when I was 22. And like I said, when I'd done my knee, he said, go out, just play golf. And that was it. And that's what I'd done. The more I practiced, the better I got. And that was it. So.
Yeah. You're not a decent, not bad footballer, are you, being the PFA Player of the Year? But was it ever a decision for you? Did you have another sport? I think your mum might have liked you to do something else.
Yeah, my mum wasn't really the biggest fan of football when I was little, but she's my biggest fan now. She kind of tried to edge me towards tennis, you know, try and get me in a little white dress or a little skirt, but I wasn't having any of it. I was turning up in my football kit every week, so she kind of just gave in the end.
Imagine Julian showing up in a little white skirt. Now I can't imagine that either. The Women's Football Show returns on the 25th of August at 7 o'clock on BBC Three. So hopefully you will join us for that. Thank you very much to Julian. Great to have you in the studio. Lucy as well. We're exactly halfway through the WSL season and it's Birmingham City who remain in pole position. Bye for now.